It's a dog-eat-dog world. Have will be taken away from us and we'll be vulnerable. And whether we'll be destitute, meaning that we don't have the resources to take care of ourselves. I think fear, the emotion, the emotion of fear, the primary reason that it's there is because we feel that we won't have the resources to control our own life and someone else will control us. And if you ever been down and out in life, financially, physically, or whatever, I think you know that there's something to that. It's not just a fake emotion. Humans are logical and emotional, mainly emotional. And emotions are very hard to control. I feel, if I'm honest, and you should be honest, because you can feel fear, you can feel depression, you can feel sadness. Um, and you can work through it. Some people more than others. But even at times when I'm doing good in life, with a job, with my health, I do have a level of fear that it won't always be this good. And experiencing the reality of life, physically, financially, and emotionally, when I've been down and out, it's a very painful thing to think that you can end up back in a position of not being in control of your life. It's scary. It's a real emotion. And so, how do we deal with it so that it doesn't steal our life? Because a child of fear is worry. Worry and anxiety stem from a fear of the future, fear of whatever. And, it's like everything else. All you can do, well, there's a few things you can do. Obviously, I always preach self-care, which is as best you can. Take care of yourself, what you eat, how much activity level you have, because there's a level of burning off energy that relieves anxiety, and that will create a cycle in your life where you're putting the odds in your favor by being active. Sometimes when I fear, losing my job and being destitute, I do remember the scripture that says if you keep your eyes open and if you're active, there will always be something to eat. There's a lot of proverbs that basically say lazy people suffer. And I say, Sam, even when you've been down and out, if you've been willing to work, usually you've found some work, sometimes crappy work. And, I guess fear does play a part in minimalism, if I'm honest. Let's be honest. My man, good to see you, Jelly Jams. And my man Tom in a live chat, he left a good comment. Tom's a good viewer, positive guy. He left a good comment the other day because he's been there. He's been laid off. And I guess he felt like, it's just a horrible feeling. But he said, Sam, I used to fear that when I got laid off, they would take my house away. And I understand that fear because I've been there myself and I've had to borrow from family members and it was a disaster. And he goes now, because Tom now lives on the West Coast, I believe, and he lives out of a travel trailer, a cargo trailer. And he's got a pickup truck, a cargo trailer, and he works. He's a mechanic, auto mechanic. And he said now, pretty much, look, all I own is my cargo trailer, my pickup truck. And he goes, what can they really take from me? And so I do believe that minimalism helps relieve a level of fear. I want to be fair. Okay, I don't think everyone should live as simple as me or Tom. Okay. Because there's certainly people out there that have a goal and a dream to have a family and to maybe own a house. And so I don't like to steal people's dreams. Good to see you, Tennis Unlocked. But I like to share my honest feelings about life as I go through it, because life's scary, man. But laughter is good for the soul. There's a reason there's a scripture that says laughter is good for the soul. I was chopping up on my barista today in Starbucks. Starbucks gives me a level of social interaction that's healthy. B. Barry, brother, good to see you, man. You've been a huge supporter, and all I can say is thank you, brother, for your love, man. Shout out to my man B. Barry. He says, howdy, Sam. I usually watch later, but I'm live tonight and listen to you. Well, brother, I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Titusville, Florida, the Space Coast, where NASA first launched off, and now it's SpaceX. That area's coming back somewhat. Good to see you, brother. Love to you. Hang in there, man. Appreciate you. Jajar, howdy to you, man. I like corn. I like corn. But I was chopping it up with my barista, and it's a young girl. She's getting ready to go overseas. She goes overseas for half the year. She does like missionary work or stuff like that. So she's a young girl, and she goes, yeah, next month I'm leaving for 6 months, and I'm going to be like a missionary or whatever. And I go, well, are you scared? And she kind of laughed. Well, I said, hey, it's all right to be scared. It's part of life, I said, I don't think you're human if you don't feel fear. Some people deal with fear better than others. Now, obviously, the better position you are in life, physically, financially, and your temperament, who you are as a person, plays a part in the level of fear that you have. Can you overcome fear? Well, look, I think, everyone feels fear. I think courage is doing something even when you're scared. Some of us, at times, all of us, get caught in our own head where fear becomes very paralyzing. Fear can really steal your life, man. And a lot of times there was a saying that say monsters don't live under your bed, they live in your head. I was looked it up the other day on Google. I said, what percentage of things we worry about, what percentage comes true? And Google told me that out of everything we worry about, 85% of what we worry about never comes true. So on average, only 15% of what we worry about comes true. Now, I don't know how they got that study. I'm sure it's just some, thing they did, some type of survey, or I don't know how they figured out those numbers. But if I look at my life and you look at your life, you let me know in the comments. It's good to see you, Tony, and good to see you, Jennifer. If I think about that in my life, I think, well, Sam, all the stuff you fear, has any of it come true? Well, like I say, at times, yeah, I have been laid off, and I was in a bad situation where I had a lot of bills, and I had to borrow money, and I'll never forget that feeling. Have I ever been physically in a bad shape where I couldn't take care of myself? A little bit, yes, and thank God I was able to recover, and that's what spurred me to get out of obesity. Fear is one of the greatest motivators you have. At the same time, it's one of the most paralyzing emotions you have. If I didn't fear my health declining more, I wouldn't have stopped totally being a glutton. So the fear of my health deteriorating pushed me a little bit to get in shape. Sometimes the fear of being destitute financially pushes you to go to work. It pushes you to have side hustles just in case. That's what I did with DoorDash and even with YouTube. So fear is a motivator, okay? It's a motivator or a paralyzer. It could be either or. Because really all motivation is fear of the fire burning your ass. So you get out of the seat because the fire, you're scared it's going to burn you. But there's some people, when there's a fire in the building, they just get frozen with fear. And then the firefighter's got to throw them over his shoulder and get the hell out of Dodge. I always tell you guys, a lot of you girls out there, and some of you gay guys, I got love for you guys. I stand for equal rights. But you guys fantasize to me like falling in love with you. And I always tell you, look, I got love for everyone, okay? Sometimes, one guy came in here the other day and said, Sam, what do you mean when you always say that, you love everyone? I said, well, I want the best for everyone. However, I love you, but if a fire breaks out, I'm not going back in there for you. I'm not a firefighter, guys. I'm a YouTuber, okay? So as much as some of you guys may, romanticize about, us doing a rendezvous, what I can tell you is this: if a fire breaks out, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge, okay? Now, I may leave you behind. That's the truth, okay? Now, I will call the authorities. I'm going to call 911, okay? But guys, I always tell you, I'm not a firefighter. If a big MILF starts to drown in the Atlantic Ocean, am I going to jump in and go save her? No, I'm going to call the lifeguard, okay? I'll do a YouTube video about it that night because I'm a YouTuber, okay? I'm not a lifeguard. What are we talking about? We're talking about fear is a hell of an emotion. It is. It is. So what I could tell you is this, guys. It's good to laugh. Okay. Now I'm being a little serious, and that's why it's funny. Okay. But all I could tell you is this, guys. I mean, I don't know if it ever leaves us, because I was asking myself that today, Sam. I said, Sam, does fear ever leave? It doesn't. Sometimes it's worse than others. Okay. There's times in my life where I feel very confident. Okay. And I like, you know what? I got this. And then there's times where I feel like, oh my God, it's a fucking disaster. And it's all like hanging on the string. That's true. That's true. In one sense, I guess middle age, the older I get, the closer I get to like retirement. Well, it's a give and take. Like the closer you get to a guaranteed income with Social Security and Medicare, but then the more your health could decline. It's a give and take. And then the more people die. And look, guys, I don't know. There's always going to be something to be fearful of. That's the truth. Why? I don't know. Like I always tell you, I think life is a little bit of suffering. What do you do to diminish? What do you do to diminish some of the suffering? Well, self-care. Part of self-care is, look, laughing, okay, and just living each day. Because the days do go by, as I make this live feed. What are we in the third month of the year already? It's amazing. It's March. It'll be almost April. We'll be into another season. For some of you people living in a different part of the world or the country, you're getting ready to experience spring, even though I know it was a mild winter for most people. But, I'm in endless summer. I'm in Florida, but, and I always tell you guys, part of my fear with Florida was one, I feared that I would never get down here. Did that come true? No, I got down here. I feared that I wouldn't be able to stay down here. Is that true? Well, time tells that. I don't know. But I guess it's true. Part of the thing that Google said was only 15% of our fears come true. 85%, the vast majority of our worries they never manifest. However, monsters live in your mind, not under your bed. It's true. That's why I tell you guys, the last thing I want to do is watch a horror movie. Guys, I'm in the world, man. I don't need anything else to scare me, man. I got enough to think about, man. Last thing I need to worry about is Freddy Krueger. I don't know how some of you people do it, man. You must be sitting on your ass all day watching horror movies. I don't know why anyone in their right mind, and usually they're not in their right mind, I don't know why anyone would watch horror movies. I'm scared enough going through life. Shit. But, every teach their own. I don't want to judge. I don't want to be judgmental. But that's what I wanted to share tonight, guys. I can figure out some more stuff, but I think I shared the bulk of it, so I try not to stretch it out because I respect you. I respect your time. Good to see some good people on live chat. If you appreciate this video, I appreciate if you click the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. B. Barry, thank you again for all your love, brother. All right, we'll take a hydration break. Read each and every live comment if you got any. And we'll go from there. Now, I don't want to see any horror movies, man. I'm good. All right, let's see what we got. Jelly Jams, great to see you. My brother Tom, been a blessing to connect with you, brother. One finger up in the air. Hallelujah. Tennis unlocked. Good man, brother. I saw some people playing tennis today. It was 85 degrees, sunny, beautiful South Florida day. And what I could tell you is they were hitting that ball, man. And I said to myself, I'll be 40 years old. I don't even think I could play tennis anymore. I feel old, man. I feel old. B. Barry, that's my guy, man. I usually watch later, but you're in here tonight. Well, brother, I appreciate you. I hope you're continuing to push forward to your dream. You got your place now locked up. And, when I was living in New Jersey, I used to dream about buying a piece of property. I almost bought a piece of property by Titusville. Almost bought a piece of property in Satellite Beach. That was when there was the recession, like 2008 or so. And at that time, I think things were going for under 100,000. And you get a nice piece of property at that time for like 150, 175. Now, all that's doubled, at least. So, what I could tell you is this. Do I regret not buying real estate when the market's low? No, because to be honest with you, too, I really didn't have that level of financial freedom where, I just got out of debt this year. So one thing I learned in life and through what causes fear is living above your means, at least for me, because that's when I really got screwed in life. And maybe that's why I'm a little bit, I don't want to say the word paranoid, but that's why I'm a little bit scared now of committing to anything. I do have a fear there, if I'm being honest with you guys. My fear is that I commit to something and I just get screwed again. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and she's getting older, so I fear that too. Like if I commit to something down here and she doesn't get down here and I have to go see her, what's going to happen? But it's like you can't plan your life around other people too. It's just hard. It's a hard thing, you know. My mom's not destitute. You know, my mom's okay up there, and I got siblings. So I mean, if she was destitute, it'd be different. Gerald, $2 super chat. Don't be scared, Sammy. You need some Starbucks. Well, my big ass. I gotta cut back on Starbucks, man. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate your kindness, brother. I appreciate your kindness. I said to myself, damn. I said, I probably put on about 2 pounds. I said, I don't understand why I got 20 pounds on. Now, as you get older, guys, weight's harder to shit because I'm not eating like crazy like I used to. I'm just having regular food. I mean, I have a bagel. I don't have much like unhealthy food, but I got a wide ass. I'll tell you guys, I eat like one cream cheese bagel. I put on like 20 pounds. And I was looking at my daily intake of food. I said, I don't understand it. As you get older, it's hard to lose weight, guys. True. Thank you, Gerald. Appreciate you, brother. But I was talking to my mom. I said, and she kind of felt like what I was feeling. And she goes, Sam, you've always been smart. You've always been willing to work. She goes, don't be scared. You'll figure it out one way or another. She goes, just remember, if you do buy something, don't buy something too expensive. So sometimes, when I think about the Class B, I think that is a lot more comfort. I'm looking for comfort. But it takes away a potential source of revenue if I ever needed to, like DoorDash or Uber. The home base would be a conservative financial decision, but it's going to lock me into Florida big time. And so, I have to really be anchored down. And look, I love Florida. You guys know that. And there are job opportunities in Miami. And Miami's very congested. The problem with that is, look, there's more job opportunities in New Jersey than Florida. More job opportunities in California than Florida. So Florida's a great state, but Florida's not a great state to build a career. You can still get a great job in Florida, but it's a lower pay scale. And, jobs aren't as plentiful. There's a lot of service jobs for tourism, which tend to be low paying, under $20 an hour. So, that's something I'm conscious of because I think about that, right? Because when I analyze my fear, I say, all right, Sam, this is what you should do. What's my fear? Well, my fear is I can't retire early. Okay. I don't have really anyone to count on other than me. I'm out here by myself. And some of that's by design, so I'm not crying the blues. I'm just saying. And so I said to myself, Sam, you're 40. Not only I gotta work for another 20 years at least, probably. And so I have to be positioned in an area that I know I can continue to work and get jobs, And even though I don't want to stay on the corporate high end or whatever, it's like you want to maximize your earning potential because as you get older, you don't have as much opportunity. These are the thoughts that you think about in life. At least I do. I mean, I'm describing my fear. Okay. So, again, everyone has their own fears for their own reason. I'm not trying to say that my fears are your fears because I'm sure there's some people I know there's people, everyone has their own thing. But what I'm doing through sharing my life, okay, it just really isn't I'm trying to communicate that we're all human and that it never stops. It can get better. Minimalism has helped me, okay? And, let's just leave it at that and continue to read a lot of comments. Howdy, Tony. Man, these notifications coming so late. Well, Tony, it's great to have you, brother. I appreciate your consistent love. Jennifer, hello. How are you tonight? Overall, I feel good. I'm thankful. It was a good day. So I want to be thankful for the good day. Sometimes when you have a good day, you fear that it's not always going to be a good day. But it was a good day. And so just take it for when you get a good day, take it. Okay. When you get something good happen to you, don't block your blessing. Just take your blessing and say thank you. Because there's going to be plenty of bad days in life where you get a bad hand. So when something good happens for you, when someone does good to you, or when you just have a good day, just say thank you. Remember that. Stay humble. But do, because there's going to be bad days, guys, where, where you're expecting to wake up to a steak and you get a piece of dookie with a fork in it. Okay. Why? I don't know. Somebody put a dookie and a fork emoji in a live feed. Why? I don't know, guys. I didn't create the world. If I created the world, guys, everybody'd be on jet skis. And we'd just be living a vida loca 24/7, 365. Okay. However, I can't figure out this world. All I could do is push forward one day at a time. Let's continue to read. Jennifer, fear can freak you out, guys. It's paralyzing. It's a paralyzing emotion. There's no doubt about it. Tony, only 15% of what we worry about actually happens. That's what Google told me. We have to remember that. Well, I hope Google's right. I hope it's less than that. For 1988, that is so true. The way we deal with fear determines how successful we get. That's true. And there's no guarantee. There's no exact science to life. So I can't say that if you do this exact thing, it's guaranteed to be successful for you. If that was the case, then everyone would be a trillionaire. Everyone would always make the right decision all the time. But the truth is, life is filled with a bunch of dookie emojis, a bunch of failure. And it's the level of endurance and the level of persistence and the level of aggression. Look, if you don't show up, nothing's going to happen. There's a saying that says if you don't work, your dreams don't work. You have to show up. And sometimes people get so scared and they don't show up to their job or to their life, and it's understandable. I had a couple jobs that when I first started my career, I was working construction, and there was this one hospital, I think it was, and I was an apprentice electrician. And at the end of the day, the guy said, all right, Sam, tomorrow what we got to do is we got to get on this lift. We got to go 100 feet in the air, and we got to change this electrical ballast or whatever. And I hate heights. I'm very scared of heights. I don't like to fly. I flew a couple times. I don't like to fly. I don't like heights. And so all night I was thinking about it. It was fucking freaking me out, man. And I called out sick the next day. I was scared. It's true. I'll be honest with you. One of the few jobs that I've ever didn't show up. I mean, I showed up again eventually, but that was one I just didn't like. So look, there's some things in life that you're not going to be able to, well, look, you may not be able to overcome, or they may not be for you. I didn't handle it in the right way. If you're not able to do something, just say, look, I can't do that. I'm not good with heights. Either they'll find another job for you, or they'll say that, look, well, if you can't do the job, we'll lay you off. I've had both happen. Now, that's rare because there's plenty of other jobs with plenty of other things. Every job is not 200 feet in the air. Okay. So, sometimes it gets caught in our mind that every job is 200 feet in the air or whatever it is you're scared of. But the truth is, it's not. Most jobs, let's say 85 to 90% of jobs, are you just getting there and showing up and taking it one task at a time. And plenty of people fail right there because just the idea of all that they're going to have to deal with throughout the day paralyzes them from not showing up. And then it's a vicious cycle. And then you don't show up to work, and then you don't make money, and then you feel even more vulnerable in society, and you are. And then it's just this vicious cycle. And then you establish unhealthy relationships because you have to pool your money together with other people that are abusive, and you're playing the game. I've seen it. And that scares me, to play that game. I see that game. I don't want to play that game. I don't judge anyone, guys. I'm not in that game where I want to do whatever you need to do. Everyone's different. I'm just sharing my opinion and what I see in my life. And something you got to think about. Let's continue. Capstar, what's going on, Capstar? I'm not going to save you. I love you, but I'm not going to save you. I'm not jumping back in that fire. What Martin Lawrence say? Damn, where's my hat? That's all I'm going to say. Tom, do we manifest what we fear? I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes, I see a hot barista, and I think of her, and I look on the free porn site to find a girl that looks similar to her, and sometimes the manifestation comes true. So look, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I definitely think our thoughts play a part in our life. I am conscious not to dwell on things. And even if I'm struggling with something, that's when I really just kick self-care into extra gear. And when in doubt, go for a walk. Because I can definitely tell you, whatever you're dwelling on is not healthy. If it's a negative emotion, it's not going to help. So some of the fears that you have in life, they may be sincere, legit possibility. However, you're not going to make it any better by sitting there Googling everything you may have. Like, what do they call like a hypochondriac? Like someone who thinks they're sick and then they like Google everything that they think they're sick. And then before you know it, like they turn into MD and they're diagnosing themselves like they got this, they got that. You know, it's like Rain Man. Like Rain Man, like, you know, all of a sudden he's a mathematical genius. Always say, you want to know how to determine if someone's really a psychopath or if they're playing the game? Like sometimes a psychopath say, yeah, I'm crazy, I can't do anything. Short them 50 cents, okay? And if they notice that you shorted them 50 cents, they go, hold on, man. And they start doing mathematical calculations. You know they're playing the game, okay? So I've run into that before. Total like psychopath, but all of a sudden when it comes to their money, they know exactly every cent. So, you know, they could be an accountant, but they don't want to be an accountant. So, you know, it's a game a little bit too. Red Limex, hey Sam. Just want to say thank you for your wisdom. Well, thank you for that positive comment. And the many messages that you share. I'm just sharing my life. Thank you. I made a big difference, a big life change recently, you did. And your videos helped me. Well, that's a blessing. And I transitioned into a better environment. Damn it, Redline Max. Good job. Thank you for that positive comment. Thank you for your love, man. Gerald, thank you again, brother. Appreciate you. Tony. Sam, watch out. Helping those large mills drown in the fire. You no way. You could throw your back out. I know, man. It's not worth it. Hey, Tony, you ain't got to tell me twice, man. When in doubt, don't jump in the fire. I agree with that. Good job. Zachary, you give off an inspirational vibe. Well, hey, I'll take that as a positive comment. Thank you. 1988, you won't know the good times without experiencing the bad. That's true. But I don't want to experience bad times. I don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I can lie to you. So that's why, like, I love God. I mean, I try not to question God because the Lord's blessed me. But I said, God, I mean, just like I'm talking to God, like I'm talking to you guys. I'm saying, God, I love you. You know, you're the guy, girl, whatever. I said, why we got to go through bad times, man? It should be good vibes only, man. But it's not. I don't know why. I don't know why. And, you know, sometimes if I'm being honest, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes if I'm being honest, well, I say, well, maybe does God even exist then? I don't know. I can lie to you guys, but that's a real feeling sometimes I have. Because, like, you know, if it was really like a just God, I don't know. I don't know if I'd create this world. However, I know the book of Job. When Job started to question God and God humbled him, say, can you figure out everything of earth? And Job says no, and he got humbled and he got restored. So I understand that too, but those are still feelings you have, you know. And I understand the philosophy too, that every negative thing turns into a positive and works for the good. Yeah, but like, why do we have to play this big game? Like, that's why I hated dating it. I didn't like dating after a while because it's a big game. And if it's not a game, it's boring. So no matter what, like if you're playing a game with someone else dating them, then it's exciting, but it also ends in drama and disaster. And then if you don't play a game, it's boring. And then they end up dating some other psychopath, which drama and then a disaster. So no matter which way you approach a relationship, if you're like really like, you know, coming at it like exciting, or if you're coming at it like a very straight and narrow, either way, it's like you know, it's just a disaster. It's a game. I don't play game, guys. I mean, I don't know. Life's a game. It is. AZ had a song. Basically, we're all losers at the end. I mean, we all share the same fate. I just want to live as positive as I can. I want to be thankful to the Lord. I believe in grace. I try to keep the faith. But I do. Like, you know, sometimes in my mind, and as I get older too, I guess you get more bitter because you see more stuff. It's like, it's crazy. Now, but I look at life and humanity. Humanity has made great strides in some ways, in many ways. And so I said, look, there has been good people throughout history that made society better. So, you know, that matters. But I don't know. I mean, if you ask me, I'm ready for the robots to take over, man. Let the robots take over, man. I just want to chill. I mean, what the hell's going on over here? I don't know. We'll figure it out one day. I don't know how to say the name. Forgive me. Jar Jar. It's already March. Basically, yeah, life's just flying by, man. Sometimes it feels long, though. Lila, AK Zach. Fear ride for a wheeler between two trees. That's scary. About scared my vision, eyesight, ability between his trees, between nothing at all. Unbelievable. Yeah, that sounds like a game that people would play when they live by the woods. I worked with a guy. He grew up in South Jersey. I grew up in central North Jersey. So down in South Jersey, a lot of woods, a lot of barren land. They call them pine barrens. And so this guy has said that, like when he grew up, like his friends one day like tied him to a tree. I said, tie you to a tree? He said, yes. They were playing like woodsy games. Like I grew up in the suburbs, you know, and I spent time in the suburbs and the city. But we never had friends tie you to a tree, you know. So I don't know, man. But I worked with a guy, and he was like, yeah, in South Jersey, they tie you to a tree. And I said, yeah. So don't think like, sometimes people say, oh, this is God's country. Like, don't think like people who grew up in a country, like they're so righteous, versus city people or suburb. Because, they're tipping over cows. They're tying people to trees. They're shooting their guns like out of nowhere, like killing squirrels. So some of these people that grow up in the woods, they're total disaster. Okay, total disaster. So, I don't know what to say. Jennifer, my birthday month. Well, Jennifer, I love you. Thank God I ain't dating no more. I never want to date any girl that she celebrates her birthday for an entire month. However, I want you to feel special because I love you and I'm not going to jump in the fire to save you. So if you're going to burn, you might as well enjoy your entire birthday month. So birthday cake emoji to you. I love you, Jennifer. Stay positive. May we are great severe weather on Wednesday, Thursday, possible tornadoes. Well, Lila, hold tight. And if you see a MILF flying in the air, don't call me. Because remember, I'm not the emergency evacuation rescue center. I'm a YouTuber, man. I'll do a live feed about the MILF flying in a tornado, but I'm not jumping in to save her. Never forget it. Ryan B, hey Sam, how is your day going so far? Well, hey, I saw a couple of MILFs burning up in fires and drowning in the ocean. My day was good. Not just playing. Gerald, don't be scared to say thank you. These services, I got to cut back on Starbucks, man. You're a good man, Gerald. Shout out to you and shout out to your doggy, brother. God bless your soul, man. Tony, Gerald in the house, good man. Jar Jar, I've never been to Starbucks. I'm not mad at you. You got to do what makes you happy. Tony, good job. Thank you. Gerald, hey, Tony. Lana Kizak, I get scared there's severe lightning, but they're awesome. Yeah, I do like a good lightning storm. Look out the window safely. I don't go outside severe weather. Well, Lila, if you go outside and you get caught up in the severe weather, don't call me. Jennifer, carbs can make heavy. I have the same weight gain thing. I'm not mad at you. I understand the struggle. Kira, hey Sam, hey Kira. Kira says, hey Tony. Tony, I will be honest. I am constantly in a battle with fear. Well, I appreciate you being honest. I have lost 2 jobs in the past. Thank you for sharing. And losing the one I have now is my biggest fear. Well, that's a valid fear, and I appreciate you sharing that, Tony. And shout out to you whenever I understand. I empathize with you. I do. Thank you, brother, for sharing that. Alexis, hey Alexis. True. That's why people retire to Florida. It's true. Look, Florida is a retiree state for a big majority of the population because you're on a fixed income, whether it's Social Security, your pension, or investments, and you don't have to pay sales tax. You have cheaper property tax. And so you figure, well, that's a retiree's heaven. It's not, well, I don't want to say it's not because there are opportunities. Florida has a lot to offer and it has been developing and growing. But you have to really be cautious if you're going to, there's some great areas to raise a family. So I am pro Florida. I'm just trying to tell you there's a different pay scale. Housing can be a little bit cheaper. Property taxes can be cheaper. And there's no state income tax. So you just have to be mindful of how but it's not California. It's not New Jersey, New York. Okay. As far as the job market, that doesn't mean you can't get a great job and live a great life and raise a great family because it's a great environment. You just have to really understand the industry that you're in and then try to figure out how you could, what's it like in Florida? Like the biggest industry in Florida is the healthcare industry. So if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, it's a go. There's a lot of defense contractors. Okay. If you're in aviation, okay, there's a lot of things like that. So that's just something to give thought to. That's all. Tony, hello, Kira. I hope the world is being good to you. That's positive. Tennis Unlocked. Free lessons from me whenever you want to start playing. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You never know. You're never too late to start. Thank you. Lala Akazak. My subscriber grown 105. Good job. My YouTube channel. Well, I'm proud of you. I sub, I watch. Jar Jar. Play your cards right. We only have one set. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, just do the best you can with what you have. I understand that some people have a better card dealt than others. But all we can do is focus on what we can control. And if you're in a position of power and authority, try to give the right people opportunity. In different times of my life, I felt like I was giving opportunity and I tried to pass that forward and get other people jobs or give other people opportunity. Sometimes it worked out and sometimes it didn't. So the main thing is when you're able to give someone an opportunity, you have to just make sure that you're being honest with yourself. So like you don't want to give opportunity to someone you know versus someone who wants the same opportunity and is working for it. So, you know, you have to be fair. But it certainly it comes into play, who we know, that's a part of life. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you can't be disingenuous about that. But also, I've seen people, gradually build your career up by showing up, by being positive. As nasty as the world can be, and it can be nasty, I don't want to lie to you, there also could be some greatness, because I have seen and I have experienced, if you show up consistently, if you try to do your best, and if you try to stay positive, people will eventually give you opportunity because they like that quality about you. Now, certainly there's going to be times where negative people pass you and they get ahead by means that aren't righteous. So I acknowledge that's part of life. But look, you have to decide what type of person do you want to be and how do you want to live. I mean, I don't want to be nasty. I don't, you have to be a little bit firm sometimes, because people will keep abusing you if you don't stand up. It's a balancing. Sometimes you'll go too far, and then you got to like refine yourself and step back a little bit, humble yourself. You're never going to be perfect. It's just the way it is. So all you can do is just try to do your best. 1988. I am considering moving to Florida in the near future. Well, my biggest piece of advice, I have a playlist on my channel about moving to Florida. I think it's a lot of great tips on there, anyone interested. But in short form, this is what you do, in my opinion, and what I did if you want to move to Florida. The first thing is you take vacations there. So most people, that you get at least 2 weeks a year for vacation. Take a vacation in the winter and take a vacation in the summer to get a feel for what Florida's like in the different seasons. Then, after you've taken a vacation a couple times, you visit a couple different areas, then look at job areas, look at jobs in the area of Florida you want to move, because Florida is a big state, one of the biggest in America. So you have to figure out, do you want to live by Miami? Do you want to live by Jacksonville? Do you want to live by Orlando? Do you want to live by Tampa? They all have completely different feels, okay? Orlando is completely different than Miami. Jacksonville is completely different than Tampa. They're all different. So you have to kind of get it, like, what do you vibe with the most? And then you got to look for jobs in that area. And then once you secure a job, then you just, you liquidate, you come down, and you give it your best shot. That's true. Have I known people that have moved to Florida and then moved away? Sure. Just like any other state. No perfect answer. Just do your best. Capstar. I was cracking up about I'm not a firefighter. Well, it's true. I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, we're going to put that in. Thank you, Capstar. 1988. Fear of the unknown is the biggest fear I deal with daily. Well, I can understand that. I appreciate what you're saying. I thank you for it, Alexis. I meant that. A lot of jobs down south pay less. It's true. Now, sometimes the cost of living is less, but a lot of people in New Jersey bitch about taxes and it's true, taxes and houses are high, but there's also a lot of job opportunity. You'd rather be in an area where there's a lot of job opportunity, because you could always, look, if you're paying a lot of taxes, let's look at this as an example. New Jersey state income tax is 5 to 6% depending on your income. So the average pay scale in Florida is about anywhere from 25 to 50% lower. Okay. So if you're only saving 5% on state income tax, you're not saving that much. Now, you may save a little bit more on property tax. That's true. But you have to balance all those things out. However, here's one thing I heard Bruce Jenner, a.k.a. What's his name now? Caitlyn Jenner. I heard him say this on an episode of Keeping Up with Kardashians, and I think it's wisdom. Because he wanted to move to Malibu after he got like the sex change and after he broke up with the wife of Kardashian. So he said, this is what his father told him. He said, because he wanted to move to Malibu. He said, in life, you should find out where you want to live and then find out how you can secure an income there and create a lifestyle based on that income. Find out where you want to live, then find out how you can get an income there, then create a lifestyle based on that income, and then ask yourself, are you willing to deal with that? Damn it, Savat, $5 super chat, brother. I appreciate that, man. Savat, shout out to you, man. Another Floridian in the future or in the present. So, Savat, man, thank you for your show of support and your tip. I appreciate it, man. Don't take it for granted. Don't pander, but I show appreciation. So thank you, Savat. Thank you, Gerald. I appreciate you very much, and don't take it for granted. And thank you. Let's continue to read. Juliana, hey Sam, shout out to Australia. Savat says, can't wait to Florida. Well, look, in my experience, Florida has still, it's not perfect, but it's overall been a blessing to me. Okay. Again, now it took me a few years to get down here, so do it in order. But overall, it's been a blessing to me. It's true. Juliana says, hey Sam, I've just finished watching your business video. Sometimes I get fired up in some of my videos. It's been a mindset game changer for me in saving for my emergency fund. Thank you. Which will alleviate a lot of fear. And I understand that. The biggest fear you'll have is if you don't have a savings account. Okay. Because even if you're out of debt, not have expenses. And in American dollars, I think bare minimum, you need $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Okay. If you're not getting any government subsidies, if you're not getting, I've never gotten any government subsidies. I got family members that do, and I don't begrudge anybody that has it. I'm just saying, if you don't have any government subsidies for housing, for food or anything, and you're doing everything on your own, healthcare, food, everything, you need $1,000 to $2,000 per month. That's truth. Okay. And so, you would need at least, anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 in a savings account before you're out of debt. Why? Because if you're out of debt and you lose your job and you got nothing in savings account, it don't matter that you're out of debt. Like Donald Trump said when he was in debt and he went bankrupt, he said, well, let the banks chase me. Let them banks chase me. I'll figure it out. By the time they catch up to me, I'll do something else. So, look, I'm not saying be crazy. Okay. And I think getting out of debt is wisdom. I think Dave Ramsey has a lot of wisdom. Okay. And I respect what he has done and I respect that philosophy. But one thing I will say is my low points in life financially is when I had nothing in savings, I lost my job and I had to go borrow money from family members and friends. Total dookie emoji. And I fear that now. I do. That's why I'm scared to commit to something. I fear it. I do. And I'm trying to overcome it. But it's just something that's true. But Juliano, this is what I want to tell you. Everyone, just keep doing your thing. You're a positive, smart woman, okay? And you will be okay. You're going to be fine. I know that doesn't make it 100% better, but I know it does help to hear that you're smart, that you are a positive person. Just keep active. You'll be fine. You've gotten to this point in life now. I think you raised 3 kids or 2 kids. So the storm mainly has passed, okay? Because it's really scary, obviously, when you got, just out of a divorce and you're raising 2, 3 kids and you barely got any income coming in. That's scary. And I know my mom, other people have faced that. If my mom didn't have an inheritance left to her from her father, we would have been in poverty. Because after the divorce, even though my father did pay child support, my mom was working 2 minimum wage jobs, basically. So really, what subsidized her was an inheritance she got from her father. Without that, it would have been poverty city. So, all I could tell you guys is, just remember that even when you're doing good, there's other people in society that, I'm not, look, I understand that some people make their bed. I understand that. But, I do still feel in my soul, we could have a better society. I'm not saying complete socialism. I'm just saying I think we could be a little bit more, have a little bit more equality. And we could figure it out. Okay, we print money. We're 22 trillion in debt. And like China, who also prints money, like they had that big virus scare. So what they did, I read today, I think in an article, that they gifted $1,200 to each like citizen or whatever to keep the economy going because the stock market had tanked and then it went up today. So look, if it really gets disaster, I remember George Bush doing that in the early 2000s when we got into the tech bubble. Like they would issue like every year like $1,000 stimulus. So look, if governments really get in trouble, they don't really want the system to collapse because the people who are doing good, they don't want the system to collapse because they're doing good. So they will just print more money. They will, keep the game going, okay? Because if the Monopoly game ends, and from what I understand, the Monopoly board game was created to show the downside of capitalism, which is eventually one entity collects all the assets and there's no one else to go around the circle. Because even in the game of Monopoly, there was socialism. Every time you go around a circle, you get $200. Okay. So Eventually, though, even with the $200 Social Security or socialism, whatever you want to call it, eventually the rent goes up too high and you can't pay anything, and then the game has to stop and everyone starts over again. And that's kind of what like a reset in society is, right? It's like eventually, if things don't equalize, then society gets out of balance and there's no game to play. Like corporations can own everything, but if there's no one to buy their products, there's no game to play. So I don't think like, the powers to be would ever let a total collapse happen, because, even though the corporations and the very elites, even though I'm sure they don't want to give up, no one wants to give up power. And you don't either. Like if you were given power and wealth, you don't want to give it up. No one does. I understand it. But even though human society and human nature is tending, we'll let it go all the way till it's at the tipping point. But eventually, when it's at the tipping point, no one wants the game to end, because corporations, they want people to buy their stuff. The elites, they don't want like people coming in their gated community with guns, so no one would really benefit other than anarchists if society's completely collapsed, okay? Because who really wants anarchy? Other than some people who are a little bit mentally ill, you shouldn't want it. I do understand those who want reform and those who say, look, sometimes you have to push with a little extreme motion to get reform, because reform happened after the Great Depression. That's when Social Security, Medicare, and even infrastructure spending happened. So, I don't know. Bottom line is we're getting way off topic. But fear of the system collapsing, or fear of like preppers, like last week, like the economies were down a little bit, stock markets or whatever. So there's a lot of people that were in fear mode. Okay. And I did a video about financial collapse and how it burst the fear and how it's could be a reality, could not. And the bottom line is there's only so much you can do to prepare for anything. Because if it truly is Armageddon, ain't much you can do. Now, you can have a certain amount of food supply, just like when you prepare for a hurricane. A hurricane, it's not being a fear monger to prepare for a hurricane. Like last year, I saw a hurricane coming, and I lived through Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, where we went a week without power. Okay, so it's a real thing. Like if you get hit with a hurricane, it's not like a made-up TV thing. Like there's some people that never experienced real situations in life, and they think like everything is made up on TV or YouTube. They think like the people who landed on moon, it was a fake thing. They think like hurricanes didn't really happen. The school shootings didn't happen. Now, I'm not saying everything. I don't know everything, but I could tell you that tragedies do happen. Okay, I worked in Newark, New Jersey when 9/11 happened. Okay, I saw the smoke from the Twin Towers on the top of the building I was standing from. Okay, so 9/11 was a fake. Now, was it set up? I don't know all the stuff, but all I'm trying to tell you is tragedies happen. Okay. And so there's a level of fear that's real. Like after 9/11, I remember that. Like after 9/11, I called off work for a couple of days. And I remember I would wake up in the morning and I would wake up and I would be dreaming about what I saw, like the smoke coming out of the building and like even me, like I had PSD and I wasn't that close. Okay. So for a couple, even years after that, America feared terrorism attack. I mean, now it's at bay and, maybe there's complacency, maybe there's not, but it was the same way before that. Like before 9/11, no one really thought of anything like that, right? It was complacency. Like, even when you went to the airport, you never got your shoes checked or anything like that. You just went in the airport and you did whatever. So, it's just all part of life. Well, let's continue to be a golf track. Where are we at? Forgive me for saying the name wrong, if I am. Apocalyptic? Will you still be in your car in 5 years? It's a good question. I don't know, man. I want to answer, though, because I could appreciate a question, and at least I can't guarantee the answer will be accurate. Will I still be in this car in 5 years? Damn, that's a good question, brother. I don't know, but I want to say no because I want to answer your question. I can't guarantee you where I'll be in 5 years. I don't know, to be honest. That's my honest answer. To give you feedback it's a good question. It makes me think. I want to say no. Will I be in a house? Look, if I'm not in a car, it's either going to be an RV lot that I buy or it's going to be an RV. In one sense, I want to say yes because I'm almost scared to say no. I'm talking this out with you. I really don't know the answer. That's my truth, but I want to talk it out because I want to show your question some thought. So initially, my thought was, as I just ran it through my mind, was no. And then as I play out the scenarios, which would be my only options that I would even want to consider is buying an RV lot in Florida, very cheap, as cheap as I can, or buying an RV, whether it's a Class B or a small travel trailer. But as I say no, I get scared with the idea of buying property, and I don't know if it's worth it for me as a single person with no family. However, my fear of not buying property now or not having something in the future is that I'll get really sick on the road, or something will really change in my job or in my life, and then I'm not going to have that opportunity time window again to secure something for my future, and that's a real fear. I love the freedom of living in my car, and I love the confidence that I don't owe anyone anything. It relieves some of the fear that I have every day of I'm going to be back to where I was at one point in my life. So it's a very tough question for me to answer because I honestly don't know the answer, but those are my thoughts to give your question, that's a good question, some respect and time and effort into how I want to answer it. And so hopefully that helped a little bit, but the true answer is I don't know, man. Thank you. Lila A.K. Zach. Sarasota, Florida, 15% of virus in hospital. Yeah, I saw in an article today online, that 2 people, I think, on the west coast of Florida, that's where Sarasota is, got diagnosed positive for the coronavirus. So bottom line is the coronavirus is basically like the flu, but on steroids, I believe, something like that. And just like any flu, who are at higher risk? The elderly and people with immune system problems. And obviously higher risk are people who have traveled overseas, mainly to China, Italy, or parts of Europe. So, but the reality is that less than 0.0004% of human population are infected or have died. So I think it's over 3,000 people. There's 7.5 billion people in the world. In America, it's 350 million. So it's still a very small piece of society. However, it's still a real thing. 9/11, how many people died in 9/11? I don't know, 2,000-3,000 people, right? Something like that. So it still was a very small piece of society in actual numbers. However, it was a huge event that affected people's mindset. More people died in Iraq during the war, more Iraqis died and things like that, hundreds of thousands, I believe. So, you always have to take a step back and look at the numbers. However, look, if you lost your child, if you lost your mother, if you lost your friend, it doesn't matter that it's a small percentage of society. It affects you. There's that saying that when you lose your job, it's a depression. But to society, it's only a recession. Okay. So if the stock market's at an all-time high and all the economic indicators are showing good, but you lose your job, for you might as well be in a Great Depression. That's how you feel, at least. Okay. But the reality is during the Great Depression, I remember watching a documentary that because after the Great Depression, the government stimulated the economy through infrastructure spending. I believe that's when they built the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Fact check me, but I believe so. And so there was people that migrated west, and they camped out. Now, do you think there's a lot of tent campers now in San Francisco? They camped out underneath the bridge, waiting for workers to fall and die so they could take their place. Okay. That's how bad the job market was. Okay. So now, I don't want anyone to get laid off, including me, but if you get laid off, you could DoorDash, you could Uber. I'm not saying that makes it better, but we're as I say, sometimes when I get cynical and a little bit depressed, I say, Sam, you could have been brought up in those times where you don't have any independence. In 1929, a lot of people in America didn't even have rights. Forget about a job opportunity, So Just remember that, that there has been a positive impact throughout humanity. Sometimes it's not as fast and as much as we want, but, we have to be thankful for those who have made society better. It's true. Let's continue to read. Let's take a hydration break first. And guys, if you appreciate this video, clicking that thumbs up button. I want to thank you again, Savat and Gerald, for the super chat. Free Spirit 87. Out walking in the rain, Samuel. Good job. The mental clarity from a good walk is therapeutic. Amen. I don't have all the answers in life, but if you're physically able, my number one go-to is when I feel down, I go for a walk. That's true. Good job. Tony, you're right on the dating thing, being a game. That's why I am waiting for the robot MILFs to be invented. Hey, truth be told, from what I heard online, they got some robot MILFs in Asia, on the Asian market. So, like, if you're willing to, pay for shipping and handling, you can get you a robot MILF mailed immediately. Now, you got to do some maintenance. You got to change their oil. You got to change, some nuts and bolts. So, it's too much maintenance for me. I don't even want a robot wife. I like the virtual wife. But, look, there's some people out there. Like, if you say, Sam, I got an extra $2,000. What should I do? I said, well, hey, if you got a savings account and you paid off debt, why don't you get you a robot wife? Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If you get a divorce, you just throw her out. $2,000 ain't going to break it. Tony? Pine Barrens is where Paulie Walnuts, I remember that episode of Sopranos, brought the Russian guy, I remember that, to kill the Sopranos. Well, hey, guys, Sopranos, I understand that. Jennifer, laughing. Thank you. I'll save myself. Oh, yeah, if you burn the fire, I love you. Zach. I want to get job Christmas lights, show company, help people, outlight, Rama controller. That's going to be in the future. Help somebody out. I should do Nomad. I need your opinion. Well, Lila, I love you. I want to say that number one, I respect you. That's number two. I think you should do the Christmas lights because I watched your video and I know that's your passion, and I think that's a productive, positive thing to do. I would not, if you're asking my opinion, I do not think you should be a nomad. Because I think to be a nomad, you really have to have a level of self-sufficiency, or else people could really take advantage of you and can really get nasty. And so, in my opinion, again, you should do whatever you want, and I'm not here to tell you what you can or can't do, okay? But you asked me my opinion, so I want to be honest with you. I think you should continue to do positive, productive things like your Christmas lights. I don't think you should be a full-time nomad by yourself, because from my understanding, I think you're on SSI, got issues you're dealing with, is I think, the nomad life, especially long-term, I wouldn't want to say something that's not honest. And my honest opinion is, from my understanding of where you're at in life, I don't think it would help you, okay? However, again, I respect that it's your own life, and you should do what you feel is best for you, but that's my opinion. Love to you. Jennifer, I love Florida, born and raised. Awesome lightning storms here. Oh, that's right. Definitely, too, in the summertime. In rainy season, once it gets into June, July, August, definitely. Guys, it's lightning, thunderstorm gazoo. Savat, thank you again, brother. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. You and Gerald, man. Tony, good job, Savat. It's a blessing. Savat, can't wait to Florida. I remember, if you look at my early videos, man, one thing that was really giving me a lot of hope when I was, in New Jersey freezing my ass off, was the hope of Florida. It brought me excitement in life. Do I still feel excited about Florida? I do. That's why I think that one viewer, Apocalyptic, asked me about, do I still see myself living in my car? Well, let me answer that. And again, let me start from the beginning. Why did I get in my car? Well, I got in my car for two reasons. Well, three. One was I wanted to cut my expenses in half because I was living above my means. Two is I wanted to move to Florida and be by the beach. And three is I wanted to retire early. Two out of those three I've got. I don't know if I'll be able to retire early. Doesn't look like it. I hope I'm still shooting on a star, but... So, if I really want to spend most of my time in Florida, does it make sense to be in my car? Well, the reason I stay in my car now is because mobility is an asset. So I need to have some flexibility. One reason I don't get a Class B is because if I needed to, I don't want to not have the ability to DoorDash, okay? Because that's just like cutting off a thing if I don't need it. And if I lost my job but I need to be in a certain part of Florida, I want to have the mobility to go there. Do I want to leave Florida? Only to visit my mother and maybe during hurricane season. So, those are my thoughts. I'm sharing my thoughts. Let's continue. Eric, speaking of future Floridians, happy Monday. Just joined in the chat. Well, Eric, I want the best for you, brother. I believe you said you were coming down to the Ormond Beach area. Ormond Beach is northeast Florida. Yeah, I think you asked me about Daytona Beach first. Hold on one second. I think you asked me about Daytona Beach first. So Daytona Beach has a nice beach area, but there's a lot of drugs, and it's a rundown area. I would not recommend to live in Daytona Beach, in my opinion. There's some nice areas south and north of that. So, what I could tell you is Ormond Beach is a decent area. Flagler Beach, northeast Florida. If you ask me, Sam, what's the best area in northeast Florida, in my opinion, in my experience, because I have visited, is Flagler Beach. Okay, that area, Palm Coast, Flagler Beach. That would be my opinion. Let's continue. Lala, unbelievable. My vision 0 because my four-wheeler, my sight between halfway tree. It's awesome the way I do it without fear and scare. Well, I don't want to drive four-wheelers. I don't want to drive motorcycles. I had a friend that died in a motorcycle. But to each their own. Everyone has their own thrills in life, so I don't take that from them. Juliana? Try to be positive. There's always a couple negative people no matter what. Try to be positive. Let me stay positive. Juliana, raised 3 kids on my own. Respect to you and respect to all the hardworking mothers and fathers. Raised 3 kids on my own, working 3 jobs at a time. But I'm tired of the fight of life. I can understand that, and I appreciate your comment. Looking forward to the thriving stage of life rather than surviving. Well, Juliano, I could totally empathize with that. The good news is that you made it through that most challenging time. And now I do believe that, you're going to experience the relief. But the fight of life, I don't think it ever stops. I think it gets easier, and then sometimes it gets worse. But all we could do is take life one day at a time. I mean, this is the honest answer on how I look at life. Sometimes I think I got life by the balls, the storm is over, and then I go through a real bad route. And then, come out of it. But it's just a constant battle. I mean, I've done videos about it. However, any battle, any fight in life, you want to have some game plan. Now, Mike Tyson had the quote that everyone has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. But you're better to have a plan than not. So your plan is a good plan. Your plan is, number 1, is your kids are raised now. Number 2 is you have to focus on yourself. You've paid off your debt. You're working on a savings account. That's a great plan. And then you just take it one step at a time. What do you do when you're knocked on your ass? Well, you get up and you take life one day at a time, one step at a time. And that's enough to keep you busy most of your life. So I love you and I appreciate your comment. Savat. Now they don't even print it. It's just digital typed in a computer. Yes, currency, it's true. Good job, Savat. Draco. Where to get good sleeping pad? Well, in my opinion, what I do is I put both back seats down on my Jeep and my front passenger seat all the way forward. You go to Walmart and you get a mattress topper, like a 6-inch high quality foam topper. I tried a cheap $10 one. It worked for a little bit, but eventually I had to spring for about a $60 or $70 one, and I've had that for over a year now. So go to Walmart, go to the mattress topping section. You may have to cut the topper a little bit, get the smallest one, because most SUVs, you don't, it's not even a full-size bed. But get you a 6-inch high quality, anywhere from $70 to $100 mattress topper. Make it fit in your back seat with your back seats all the way down. That's your base layer. I did a video about it. It's on my playlist, Nomad Simple Living playlist on my channel. Put your back seats all the way down, your front passenger seat all the way down. Then your base level, I put a camping mat. Then I put the mattress topper. Then I put 2 quilts. And if you're in a cold environment, 2 years I spent in New Jersey, you also want to purchase the $50 25-degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag from Walmart. Those things will get you through the storm. That's true. Lila A.K. Zach. We are going to get severe weather Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, that's true. I saw the rainstorms are coming. Tony, Trump is one of those people who think the moon landing was fake news and that Earth is flat. I don't know if he believes that, because I do think that Trump is very intelligent. I think he knows that humans are mainly emotional. So I think some things he does even though he may say things that are like very like plain, and because he knows that people connect with it. Trump is a great salesman. So a lot of times, in my opinion, he's saying things that even if he really doesn't fully believe it, he knows it will spark a chord in people, get them emotional, and long term, it will serve his interest. Even if he doesn't fully believe in it, he's looking long term, so he's playing the game. And what you can say about Trump is he knows how to play the game. Now, I don't think the game is always fair. Like, I remember when Trump was running for office and it looked like he was going to lose. He claimed that the system was rigged. It was unfair. So think of that irony. A billionaire who inherited a fortune, lost a fortune, and, but he's a worker. He's always worked. He's a hustler. He's got some smarts. But he was claiming, and he's one of the most privileged in society. He's the wealthiest president in history. He's claiming that the system was rigged against him. Imagine a working class person making anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a year. Imagine a working class person trying to run for president. If Trump thought the system was rigged against him, why doesn't he think it was rigged against the regular working class person? He doesn't speak to that. He speaks to the working class people because they vibe with him. But he doesn't address some of the inequalities in society that would balance things to a certain level. Now, what he does do is that he realizes that to a certain extent, look, you just have to push society forward and grow the economy, grow the innovative American passion, okay, which is wise. However, it's like innovation and corporation without a balance of regulation, and it goes untamed. Society is always looking for balance, okay? However, the bad part about balance is balance doesn't move the needle sometimes. It's extremes that move the needle, because you almost need an extreme amount of energy to get shit done. Because if you're very balanced, it's hard to get stuff done. But if you're very extreme, right or wrong, you're going to move the needle one way or another. So sometimes what happens is we get an extreme here, we get an extreme here, and then through the tug of war, hopefully we find balance. Now, if we don't find balance, then eventually we end up like the game of Monopoly, which was created to show us the pitfalls of capitalism. Eventually, a couple entities buy up all the hotels, the rent goes too high, and the game stops. Will society ever let it come to that? I don't think so. I think they'll just print money or make digital currency. Because why? Because do the most elites in society, do they really want the game to stop? Hell no. If you're winning, why would you want the game to stop? So you'll figure out something to keep the system going. But, you have to be conscious to kind of do your part to improve your own individual situation, and through that, and through freeing up some of the burden on your life, helping society move forward in one way or another. So, that's the best I could figure out. Let's take hydration breaks. Marin, hey Marin, shout out to you. 3 palm trees and a thumbs up. Well, Marin, I want to show you love and respect, and I appreciate you. Draco, I think I need a sleeping pad because I have a little hook on the back of the seat. Yeah, when you put the back seats down in your car SUV, there's like a bump. A lot of them, they have bumps or they have hooks from the, like a tie down or whatever. So I put a camping mat, and then I put the mattress topper, and then I put quilts. That should alleviate any like major bumps or things that you have. That's true. Apocalyptics, you should hike the Appalachian Trail. Now, I'm not into hiking. I like flat land. Like, even when I have to walk up a hill, it's not my thing. I hiked a couple mountains in New Jersey. They weren't that high. I didn't like it. So I got the experience, but I like flat land. That's why I live in Florida. It's one of the flattest states in America. I don't like hills. I don't like to look at mountains. So if a girl went hiking and she got lost on the Appalachian Trail, would I save her? No, I'll call her a forest ranger. Why? Because guys, I'm not a park ranger. I'm a YouTuber. So do I want to hike the? No, I don't want to hike the. I love you though. I love you, Eric. Sorry, I'm new to the channel. I'm not mad at you. Do you sleep in your car? Yes, I do. Papa Lissus, debt-free equals the key to true freedom. Well, I would agree, but I would add first that a savings account equals freedom, then debt-free. Because if you don't have a savings account, and you don't have debt, if you lose your job, it doesn't matter that you don't have debt. It matters that you don't have a savings account because you still have to feed yourself. Food costs never stop. So if you can't feed yourself but you're debt free, it doesn't matter. So your savings account first and then debt free. That's my opinion. But good thought. Draco got a Toyota Corolla. Look, guys, if you have any car that you can put the back seats down and the front seat down, and if you're under 6'2" or even 6'5", you should have no issue. Now, if you're 7-foot Shaq, then you're going to need something a little bit bigger than Toyota Corolla. But I think I did the research one time. 80% of people are 5'9" and under. So the vast majority of the human population are 5'9" and under. Then I think the next leg is most people are 6'2" and under. So very few people are above 6'2", very few. Most people are 5'9" or under. So for most people, it shouldn't affect them. And I watched a YouTuber, there was some guy 6'6", big guy, man, like 400 pounds. 6'6", he was living in the back of a like a Ford pickup truck camper. So it can be done. Jimmy, you're a warrior. Love your videos, brother. Well, I thank you. The Ultimate Warrior really inspired me later on in life for some of his YouTube videos. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate that. Juicy Jeff, good to see you, brother. Juicy Jeff, just remember, man, you ain't a lifeguard, man. You're just a chef. So don't go trying to save the world, man. I love you. Tom, good. I love you, brother. Don't fear, be bold. Going back to work. Well, I love you, brother. I love you, man. That's a good comment. I agree with it to a certain extent, man. Thank you, brother. And when you're living below your means, when you have a savings account, when you get out of debt, you could be more bold. And that's what Tom has done, and that should be everyone's goal. So good job, Tom. Juicy Jeff. Bought myself a California State Park Pass today. Way better for chilling when I'm not working. Well, I agree. It's a safe, legal place to park, campgrounds, public parks. Now, the only downside, Juicy Jeff, you let me know if I'm wrong. The only downside with state park passes is most of them do not allow you to camp overnight. They don't give you a discount. You still have to pay separate. However, to your point, it's better and safer, in my opinion, to be in a park during the day, like a state park or something like that, rather than a public park. Because, you know, in a lot of public parks, you're going to have more theft. You're going to have more homeless sometimes, depending on your area. So a state park, most psychopaths are not going to pay the annual pass fee. So you're going to eliminate some of the psychopaths. Not that I'm saying that disrespectfully, but I mean, I'm being honest that, you know, if you live a nomad life, you're going to see that some, not all, some of the population are mentally and have mental problems and drug addictions. And so to eliminate, as a nomad, to eliminate some of that environment, you pay a small fee, but a fee to kind of give yourself a safe zone. Because look, one of the downsides of being a nomad is you're constantly in the public. So your privacy is a premium. You have no sanctuary. You know, so people have a house to decompress at the end of the day. You have no house. You know what I mean? Like right now, like this, you know, I can't talk too loud. There's people all over, you know, so, you know, you have to be mindful. And I'm in a quiet park, really. So you have to be mindful of that. That's true. Draco, nah, I'm 5'9". 80% of the population is 5'9" or under and 19 years old. Well, thank you for the comment. Tony, JJ back in the house. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, Juicy Jeff, that's my man. Juliano, you can get a Toyota Corolla in a hybrid. Yeah, they got them now too. And the seats fold completely flat. Thank you, Juliano. Yeah, from my understanding, Toyota has basically patented the hybrid technology, and they're selling it now to other models of their own brand, and it's going to eventually in the coming years be other cars they're going to sell it to, not just Toyotas. So you're going to see a lot more hybrids hitting the market very soon. That's true. And a hybrid, if you were in a market to buy a car and you were going to be a nomad, get yourself a hybrid. Why? Because you can use it as climate control. Now, if you already have a car, don't go buying a new car until you've built up a savings account, got out of debt, and tried this lifestyle a little bit. 4-1, hey, love your videos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Wishing you the best, brother. I appreciate that positive comment. I thank you, man. Thank you. Draco. The park I'm thinking about sleeping around there are big houses around the park. Well, yeah, as long as you can legally be in the park, then that's even better if it's in a great area. But you just have to make sure of the legal parameters, because I can tell you that park rangers and cops patrol areas at night. So if you're not allowed to be there, you're going to find out very shortly. So be very careful. Juicy Jeff. It's my first day in this park, and I'm already loving it. There you go, brother. And if you don't love it tomorrow, you're a nomad. The best part about being a nomad is your flexibility. It's your number one asset. Way more relaxing. Yep, you're away from the psychopaths. Worth the 200. Ain't no way no psychopath gonna pay no $200 to be in a park. It's usually $10 for a pass. I think I'm gonna get my money's worth. Yeah, you damn sure are, Juicy Jeff. But an annual state park pass. Yeah, man, you're psychopath free, man. In orbit. Hello from Michigan, Sammy. Hello, man. Shout out to Michigan, man. Good to see you. Isaac, hello from Alabama. Shout out to Alabama, man. Like a politician would say, the great state of Alabama. I love you, man. All right, guys. I love everyone, and I appreciate all the positive comments. Everyone who watched, I thank you. Gerald, I thank you. And Savat, I thank you. Everyone who clicked the thumbs up, I thank you. Hopefully my message helped a little bit. Look, guys, fear is something I still feel. I'll be 40 years old this year, and I still get fearful. Sometimes even more than when I was a kid. Sometimes when you're young, like there's that saying, you're young and bulletproof. In one sense, when I was younger, I kind of like feared less. I'd be out there going crazy. So I think as you get older, fear is a little bit more real. There's a scripture that says, be careful to honor the Lord before you get old, because when you get old, you will fear falling. And when you're old, you fear everything because you're more vulnerable in society. So all I can tell you, I don't have the answers, guy. I mean, I try to do the best I can. The bottom line is, you take life one day at a time. Be as thankful as you can. You keep positive people around you. Don't be lazy. I mean, I know we're all lazy as far as we all want to do less. I understand that. But try to engage life so that, you know, like again, there's a scripture that says, if you keep your eyes open and if you are willing to work, you should never have to go hungry. And you probably won't. As long as you're willing to work, not that you're always going to be in a great position, but if you have the ability to work and you're willing to do it, you should at least be able to, feed yourself and clothe, and that's what you need, the basics. That's my message tonight, guys. Appreciate everyone joining. Jennifer, thank you. Yeah, you're 40. I'm 40. We're both middle-aged. Lila, I'll be live tomorrow, God willing. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay positive. Do the best you can.